Hello, 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 everybody. Hi. Hi, Robin, and hi, Jenny. How are you, Jenny and Robin? How are you? I'm always amazed at how you're always on time, Robin. It never, ever fails. And hi, Deborah, and hi, Val. How you doing? Thank you for joining in. Hello, everybody out there in Facebook land and everybody out there in YouTube land that's not in the chat. You are more than welcome to come in and join the chat. I would appreciate it. But if you don't, you're okay out there. Just watch and listen. And if you got any 2 cents that you want to add to the conversation, please feel free to do so. We are a very friendly group and we love to engage and comment and put our little 2 cents into everything. So, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining in. I do appreciate it. Um, this is Shirley's Wind Down Tuesday, and I have my Stella Rosa watermelon wine tonight. This is my first time having watermelon wine, um, Stella Rosa watermelon wine. So the jury is out so far. I've only had one little bitty sip, so I can't tell you exactly how it tastes or if I'm going to like it. My daughter didn't like it, but I said I'll try for myself, so I'm going to take a sip now. Well, so far so good. I think it's okay. I like it. I like fruity wine anyway, so it's okay. No problem. I like Stella Rosa. What can I say? And they have so many wonderful fruity flavors now. So anyway, hi Mary, how you doing? It's been a minute. Hope everything's okay. Glad that you're joining us tonight. Do appreciate it. Thank you for stopping by. Um, as usual, I'm going to wait a few more minutes before I get started on the topic, and then we'll go forward from that. So, obviously, I am off of my antibiotics, so therefore, I am able to partake in my libation for tonight. So, I got a chance to try this new flavored wine to see how it tastes. I've had it a couple of weeks, but with all that was going on with my tooth and the antibiotic and the pain and the this and the that, I couldn't drink any type of alcohol. So um, now I am able to do so. And you say you are well, Mary, and so am I. So we're moving forward. No more. Well, I'm not gonna say no more aches and pains because I do have my aches and pains, my hip, my back, everything. But that's nothing new. So I don't try to think about that too much. I just move on because that's an ongoing situation that probably won't ever get better, I don't think. But such is life. That's what happens when you move on up in those digits that go up and up and up with the blessing of the Lord to be able to see them go up and up. Hi, Jenny. And Jenny said, "Oh no, I've been going to the dentist too." Oh, that girl. I don't know what it is. I do not like going to the dentist. It's just something about going to the dentist. The dentist and the OBGYN are two doctors that I just don't like going to. So other than that, the other ones don't bother me too much, but I just dread when I have to go to the dentist or the OB-GYN. So what can I say? Hi Joyce, how you doing? Thank you for stopping by. This is Joyce from Philly. And hey, I hope you're going to be able to join us tomorrow night. Hopefully everything will work out. If not, I understand. And don't feel bad because there was some stitching done last week, but not a lot. I didn't stitch anything. So, and I still haven't stitched anything, but I got everything cut out. And I'm talking about the runner for the sewing along that we're doing. I have everything cut out. I have my SF 101 on everything. I have my heat and bond on everything. I have my stabilizer cut out. I have everything. All I have to do from this point on is sew, stitch, stitch, stitch. So that's where I am, and I will be starting definitely tomorrow. Hopefully, when we meet each other tomorrow night, I will have a couple of things stitched out already. That's the plan. So don't anybody that feels like they're behind, you're not. So don't trip. Don't worry about it. Hi, Marissa. How you doing? Hi, Betty. How are you? Thank you guys for dropping by. I do appreciate it. Um, we're going to get started in just a few more minutes. Just a few more minutes to get a few more people to log in that I know probably are planning on dropping in. And again, like I said, the people out in Facebook land and YouTube land that are watching, and also hello to those that are going to watch the replay. I forgot to mention that. So I do know a lot of people watch the replay, and I do appreciate that. So hello to you as well, and thank you for watching. Hi, Becky. How you doing? How's everything going? So I'm getting all of my usual people in here, and we're going to be talking about social media and you useful sites to get embroidery information. Now, what made me think about this topic? I was scrolling on the internet as usual, and some information actually popped up in my email from Pinterest. And I went on Pinterest and I looked around, and it's a lot of embroidery stuff on there. So got me to thinking. I said, there are places that people may be missing the boat where you can get information. So I decided to do a little digging and seeing what is out there for people to explore. And I do know that you guys always put in names of places that you use to explore. And please put those in the chat because I will shout those out as well. So people will be aware of all some of the different places there are. So Deborah, you say you've cut out all your fabric pieces for tomorrow and you still have to put them on the SF 101 on the background fabric. That's fine. Now you know what? It's hindsight, and I guess it really doesn't matter one way or the other because I did like you. I cut my fabric and then put the SF 101. Some people do it the opposite way. They put the SF 101 on the fabric, then cut the fabric. But with this particular project, I don't think that works that well. So I ended up cutting all of my pieces and then went back and did the SF 101. A little time, well, it really wasn't that time consuming. It wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't a big deal because I did that today and I plowed through it with no problem. Hi, Ann. How you doing? Thanks for stopping by. Hope you'll be able to stay for a little while. I know you got to leave kind of early, but that's okay. Hi, Danielle Soulsmore. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. And like I was saying, is that tonight's topic is finding useful places on social media to get machine embroidery information that is useful. And there are several places that you may or may not have thought about that you might be overlooking. And you know, many of us have been doing this for a little while, so we're pretty savvy on that. But there's always places that you may be missing. And so I thought I would just mention a few places that I've run across. Hi, Leslie. How you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And so, as I normally do, I go to my friendly AI. You know, I'm going to work AI until they tell me to quit since they put that on there. and I go in there and I put in a question or a query of some type and see what it spits out. Sometimes it spits out useful information, and sometimes it does not. But I do get information. Now, the my first question to it was top 10 social media sites that are useful to find good machine embroidery information. And it spit out the usual places that we're all pretty familiar with, of course, Facebook. Now, you know, Facebook has many groups that you can join. And if you know, Facebook has all its analyticals and they follow you and track you and so forth and so on. So it has the ability to figure out what it is that you're interested in. And because it does that, then it will occasionally, at least that's what happens to me, and I'm sure it happens to you guys, will populate different groups that you may be interested in joining. And of course, you can check them out, join them or not join them, what have you, and get information. Because, like, I belong to several brother groups, I belong to several just embroidery in general, design in general, and blanks and wholesale discount blanks, stuff like that. And then some of the Facebook groups of the websites or the designers that I buy from, like Design by Juju and Embroidery Library and Stitchtopia and um, sites like that. I belong to their Facebook group, and you get lots of information. So don't forget about Facebook. And it does say there are many groups on Facebook that are dedicated to machine embroidery. Some of the popular ones include Machine Embroidery Addict, Embroidery and Applique, and Embroidery and Friends. Those are the ones that the AI listed, but of course I mentioned several more. So when Facebook populates, just give it a look see and see what it is that it populates for you that you might be interested in, um, because the groups are similar to like what we do. People chat in there, people ask questions, and I get quite a few of ideas for my lives from these groups where people are asking questions. And there's a lot of people that are very new to embroidery on some of these groups, and they're asking a lot of the basic questions, and I be wanting to tell them so badly, look at my website. And sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends upon the group itself. But there are a lot of YouTube creators out there that have the answers for a lot of these questions that people are asking. The other thing that I did notice, and just as a cautionary uh, tip, sometimes the information that is provided to some of the people that are asking questions may not be good information. And when the person is a newbie, they don't know that. And so sometimes they might not get the best answer that they should. But nonetheless, the information is out there and available. Another place that is mentioned is Instagram. Now, Instagram is a great platform to find inspiration for machine embroidery. You can follow hashtags like hashtag machine embroidery, hashtag embroidery design, hashtag embroidery art, and you could discover new designs and techniques. Doing that, things will populate. I'm not that familiar with using Instagram, and I know I have been encouraged to put things on Instagram, which I have yet to do. So I definitely have to expand my social media horizon and start putting things out there. But there is information that you can find on Instagram. And as I remembered Instagram from the first time I was introduced to it, it was a place where people posted a lot of pictures. And so that's a good place to put some of your creation if you want people to know what it is you do, and perhaps reach out to you if that's something you're interested in having people do. Um, The other thing that I mentioned, other place that I mentioned, number three, is Pinterest. Now, Pinterest is a visual search engine that is perfect for finding machine embroidery ideas. You can search for specific keywords like machine embroidery design or embroidery tutorials, and to find relevant content. And when I have gone on Pinterest, I've seen a lot of some of the places that I already visit being uh, on Pinterest. I promoted on Pinterest, I guess would be the best word for it, where you actually see something that is beautiful, and then you can click on that and go deep dive into that and see where it came from, and so forth and so on, and get to that site and all of that. And they have some beautiful things on Pinterest. So don't leave that off of your list of social media places that you might want to visit to get information and ideas. Number four, which in my opinion should have been number one, of course, YouTube. YouTube is a great resource for learning new machine embroidery techniques. There are many channels dedicated to machine embroidery, such as So What Pro, Embroidery Library, and Embroid and Sweet and so sweetness and so forth and so on. This is what the AI is saying. So as you know, they didn't even begin to touch the because they didn't mention me. It is so many websites, so many sites, so many content channels out there on YouTube. You can, if you can't find it on YouTube, it probably has not been done. And I think most of everything that has to do with anything is has been done and is on YouTube. It would be hard pressed to not find what you're looking for. However, as I've mentioned in videos in the past, there is not a lot, at least I have not found a lot of videos pertaining to multi-needle machines. And that's one of the reasons why I try to do most of everything on the multi-needle machine, because I want people that have them to be able to say, okay, yeah, found a channel that talks about the machine that I have, or at least it talks about a multi-needle machine and not so much, everything is flatbed, single needle, flatbed, single needle, flatbed, single needle, luminaire, these big, beautiful, wonderful um, single needle machines that does everything under the sun. And either you have a multi-needle machine or you have a single needle machine that is very simple. It's not a whole bunch of people that have the big fancy stellaires and luminaires and the destinies and all of the ones that do all the fancy stuff. You have a lot of people that have the PE 700, PE 800, PE 6, whatever that is, and the SE 1900s and so forth and so on, the kind of the basic machines, which uh, the largest hoop normally is a 5x7. And so it's a lot of stuff that they cannot do. They can do positional hooping and go out a little bigger, but they can't do real big things. So you got the high end, and then you got the low end, and then you got a small group in the middle. And then you have the multi-needle machine, which is somewhere over on the side. So I guess I'm over on the side because I like to talk about that. But I'll get into this a little bit more about YouTube as we go further into it, because you have to know how to find what it is you're looking for on YouTube, is what I have discovered. So let me finish going through the list and then I'll circle back to that. Twitter, or the new name X, is another platform where you can find machine embroidery information. You can follow accounts like Urban Threads, Embroidery Online, and Embroidery Designs to stay up to date with the latest trends. Now, I have not personally found anything on Twitter, but the only reason I haven't is because I haven't looked. So I don't know if anybody else is actually going on Twitter looking for embroidery information. If you are, let me know because I personally have not done anything on Twitter or any of these last five that I'm going to mention. Reddit, Reddit is a social news aggregation site where users can share links and discuss various topics. There are several subreddits dedicated to machine embroidery, such as quote unquote embroidery or embroidery designs and embroidery machines. So that's an outlet that you can check into. Don't know what it is that you'll find, but you never know. Another one is LinkedIn. LinkedIn, LINKED, capital IN, LinkedIn, which I'm very familiar with LinkedIn, and I'm sure many of you are, is a professional networking site that can be used to find machine embroidery information. You can join groups like Embroidery Professionals and Machine Embroidery Network to connect with other professionals in the field. Now, that was an eye opener for me because I never thought about LinkedIn in that way. When I was working, I was very active in LinkedIn because I was communicating and connecting and networking with people in my field. And so that was my time being with LinkedIn. I am no longer active in LinkedIn because I'm no longer working, so I don't have the need for that networking. However, with the insight of the fact that I could reach out to embroidery professionals, I may decide to do that because I did not know, I didn't think about LinkedIn. So, you guys, that might be something that you want to tap into. The next one is Tumblr, which is spelled Tumbler. Tumbler is a micro blogging platform that is perfect for finding machine embroidery inspiration. You can search for specific keywords like machine embroidery or machine design to find relevant content. I've never used that. And Flickr, I've never used. It's a photo sharing site that can be used to find embroidery inspiration. You can search for keywords as well, and you may find relevant photos that can be an inspiration to you, which makes a lot of sense. And then the last one on this list is Snapchat. Now, Snapchat is a social media app that can be used to find machine embroidery inspiration as well and follow certain accounts like embroidery designs and embroidery art. Now, I've heard of Snapchat, never had any use for it, never reached out to it because I always thought Snapchat was pretty much dedicated to kids or, young people. But it does say that there's a possibility that you can get some inspiration from Snapchat. Now, that's what the AI presented to me today when I asked that question about social media sites. So, the first one, two, three, four, five I was familiar with. The last five I had not ventured into those sites. I don't know if you have or not, but just food for thought if you're interested in that. And so, hi Marina, hi. You dropped in, and Pearl, how you doing? Thanks for dropping in. And Marina, you said one of the most useful things you find via social media is community and support from like-minded friends, and you're so thankful for the company. And don't forget the industrial persona single needle. I love it for onesies and hats. Yeah, when I was talking about the different single needle, and it's not a flatbed, so it definitely is a good machine that people use. And you said that's what YouTube videos are all about, learning. Yes, and that's what I love YouTube videos because I have to be honest about it. That's what got me uh, started with embroidery and learning how to do embroidery. Almost everything that I have learned about embroidery, I have learned through various YouTube channels. Some more than others, but I've looked at a lot of YouTube channels. And in the very beginning, as I have mentioned several times, I looked at Eve with the baby's booty religiously in the very beginning. It was a couple of other ones that I can't really remember. Um, I can't remember, and I regret that I can't remember the names of them. But I was so new, and I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing. But I would catch different um, videos and try to just soak in everything that was being presented to me. But I found Eve to be the most entertaining at the time because that was back when she was doing skits. That's what kind of drew me to her. And she used to do skits. And if you all don't know that or haven't seen that part, if you go all the way back, I think her videos have to be at least 4 or 5 years old back when she actually was doing different skits and stuff with her channel. And that's what drew me in because she was showing you how to do something, but she was making it fun and entertaining and holding your interest. And I continued to watch her basically all the way through until she started doing 100% rhinestones. And I have to be honest about I don't follow her anymore because I don't do rhinestones like that. But I've been seriously considering trying to get back into it because I need to up my rhinestone skills. I really do. And so I think YouTube is the only one you can watch again and again. I don't know. It may be, well, yes and no. And the reason why I'm saying yes and no is because, yes, if you follow a certain blogger or a certain content creator, you're following them, but you're watching their YouTube channel. So it's kind of like a double thing, and that's the next information because the next thing that I asked was about the best social media websites and blogs for machine embroidery tutorials, and um, the AI spit out a few things, and then I also was lucky enough to get this this article that says 45 best machine embroidery blogs and websites. So it lists a whole list of 45, and a lot of them I'm familiar with. Some of them I am not. And so the what they have on their list as number one is Sulky of America. Now, it's a well-known brand in the world of embroidery, and their blog is a great resource for anyone looking to learn more about the craft. What I have found on Sulky, if you guys are not aware, they have classes. Some are free and some you pay for, but they do have classes. So that in itself, I think is really, really good that you can go onto their site and look up and see if there's something that they're offering that you're interested in learning, be it free or be it a class. And I don't think the classes are that expensive. Um, I think they range, I want to say 10 is the lowest and maybe $49 is the most that I saw or if my memory serves me correctly. But they do have various classes. So if you haven't checked out Sulky, just check them out just to see if they have anything of interest to you. Another one is Z Digitizing Vlog. Now, I I have a personal experience with them. Many of you may remember I used to promote them as a digitizing company, and and I'm not saying they're not. They are a good digitizing company. I've used them quite a bit. Um, so keep using them if you ever have, or give them a try if you have not. However, I'm not convinced that their blogging information is good. They're foreigners, and I don't think that they have a clear clarity on the embroidery end. Now they do the digitizing, but the actual business of embroidery is not their strong point. I put it that way. So they do have um, they put out videos often, and just be very aware of the information that they provide, and whatever that information is that they provide, I would double check it. That's the only thing I'm going to say on that one. All Stitch embroidery. Now, All Stitch is a company that sells embroidery supplies, and they're based in Maryland, Baltimore to be exact, and they also have tutorials. They do a lot of the scan and cut. Is it All Stitch or All Brand that does the scan and cut? I might be getting. I think All Brand is the one that does the scan and cut stuff. All Stitch is the supplies, the threads, and different stuff like that. And they have a blog for machine embroidery enthusiasts featuring embroidery tips, product reviews, and product ideas. They did not list All Brand. And All Brand also sells um, embroidery supplies, equipment, machines, and what have you. And they also have tutorials and stuff. And if I'm correct, if I'm wrong, you guys let me know. I think they are the ones that are doing a lot of the tutorial with the scan and cut. Now, they do have other tutorials on their site for other things, but they definitely do a lot with the scan and cut. So if anybody has one or is planning on getting one, All Brand would be a good place to learn about how to use the scan and cut for various things, because they're always on there talking about the scan and cut. And Danielle Soulsmore's All Brand does scan and cut and other brother machines. Yes, they do. I've seen them do other things besides the scan and cut. I just know that that stands out because it looks like every time I look around, they're doing a scan and cut tutorial. And that's All Brand. And Ann said, don't forget to hit the like button. Thank you so much, Ann, for putting that out there. Appreciate it. That does help. Um, Hi, Taisha. How you doing? Did somebody else drop in? Kristen, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. And you said I stopped watching a few content creators because they mostly do bling. I can't afford to pick up another craft. That's how I felt when Eve started doing uh her sublimation. I was like, wait a minute, hold up. Then I got into sublimation. Then she got into acrylic a little bit. Then she got into the DTF, and I was like, I can't afford to do all that stuff. And now she's into the bling. Now she was blinging before, but not like she is now, because blinging is her bread and butter right now. Obviously, she saw the opportunity where that's where the money was for her, and so she has moved basically, I would say 99% into her rhinestone business. Now, I'm not going to say I can't afford the rhinestone, because it just depends upon how heavily you're going to want to do rhinestone. Now, I have yet to do a shirt or a hoodie or jacket or anything that is just full frontal rhinestone without it being a already pre um, templated where I bought the template where it was already done. And that's inexpensive. You pay $6 for the whole thing and slap it on your shirt and move on. And you can have it custom if you want to, and usually it's not that expensive. If you do file addiction, they sell templates that you can go into Cameo Studio and get the template and have it cut out on your Cricut, and then you can bling it out like that. I've done those things. Now I have seen numerous shirts here lately that people are blinging it full loaded with all different sizes and colors and layers and so forth and so on. And I can imagine how much that costs because I know how much rhinestones cost. They're not cheap. Although a is it called a gram? The 1,440 stones, whatever they call that. And that's usually that gram or whatever it is that they how they measure it. It goes a pretty decent distance because I have rhinestone that I bought 2, 3 years ago when I first started getting involved with Eve, and she was doing embroidery, sublimation, and rhinestone. So I was doing embroidery, sublimation, and rhinestone right along with her. And I was get at that time she wasn't selling rhinestone, and she had referred us to Be Createful Rhinestone Store, and that's where I have bought all of my rhinestone, and I bought their full sample collection. I still have that. I still have that. And I've used out of it. And I bought other colors and stuff. And then I bought, like a fool, a bunch of flatbeds, uh, flatbacks that you put on the cups and stuff like that. And heaven only knows why I did that because I did one cup. It's a hot mess. And I haven't even tried another one. I got all these flatbacks. Because I used to get their bonus boxes. I was getting the bonus boxes every month and getting a bunch of rhinestone. Sometimes it would be the hot fix, and sometimes it would be the flat back. And that's how I've accumulated quite a few rhinestones. But I've not used them. I have not used them. I don't do a lot of rhinestone. And when I have done a rhinestone shirt, which I've gone into Cameo Studio and created something and everything, and I've done my shirt and stuff. I still didn't use a lot of rhinestone. So, with that being said, it depends upon how much rhinestones you're going to use that makes it expensive. Now, those people that are participating in her buyback on a monthly basis thing, if that's what you do and you do it on a monthly thing, I can see it being very expensive because that's not cheap. I don't know exactly what she charges because I don't do it. So I'm not going to say, I can't say what it costs. I just know from what I've heard it's not inexpensive. And that's where your expense would come. So it just depends upon what it is that you really want to do. If you're not going to be doing it to sell and you're just doing it for yourself for fun, then it's not expensive. If you're doing it to sell, then yeah, I can see the need to buy bulks and bulks and bulks of it, and that can cost a lot of money. But hopefully, if you're selling it, you get that money back. So that's just my take on that. But I mean, it doesn't hurt to learn because I just saw where she has done, I guess, a video, put up a video on doing the hats blinging out the hats. Now I want to see that because I'm interested in that. That sounds interesting to me. I've done shirts and stuff. I've never done a hat. So that would be interesting to me to see how that's done. And that would not be super expensive because it's not going to take that many rhinestones to do a design because it's small. But, I guess maybe that's why I'm interested in it. And Taisha, you said, "Good evening, everyone. Fun class tonight. Learned about creating couching design." Yeah, you said you were going to do the couching. And then you said, "I want to couch." You want a couch on your long arm. Yeah. And Danielle, you said you can't put another thing in your creative space. You have to decide how far you're going to go with your creation. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to stay as close into my embroidery arena because it's so much to learn about embroidery and so many different techniques and things that you can do with embroidery that branching out, you can be a jack of all trade and a master of none. And I don't want to go that route. I want to master my trade, but it doesn't hurt to add because I do love rhinestone. I love the bling. I love the bling. I love the bling. I got a blinged out zipper, so I love bling. But I like adding it to rhinestone. I mean, adding it to embroidery. So add rhinestone to embroidery. I just like that look as well. I do like all rhinestone as well, but not not as a all the time situation. I put it that way. Um, so all stitch and all brand. Another one that they mention as far as tutorials is Embroidery Studio. It's a go-to resource for machine embroidery enthusiasts. I'm not familiar with them, but the next one is Kimberbella blog, which is the Kimberbell design. Now, Kimberbell has some gorgeous stuff, and they really have really nice, unique designs. Really pretty stuff. I have the Kimberbell pillow that I made. I have a box of for another pillow. I've had that now over a year. I haven't branched out to do it yet. I'm going to do it because I paid too much money for it. But that's the issue. Kimberbell is not inexpensive. Their kits are not inexpensive, and you have to get the kit. You have to get the embellishment, and um, depending upon what it is, you may or may not have the software that goes with it. You get that, and then you may or may not have the edge to edge stitching. When I bought my pillow kit, I bought the kit which included the soft not the software, the design. It included the design for the pillow with all of the different pieces that went with it and everything. It included that, and I think it came on a disc. I think, and but it didn't include the fabric. I had to buy the fabric, and I had to buy the embellishment, and I had to buy the um, edge to edge that went with it. So when I put all that stuff together, it was a couple of $100. It was over a couple of $100. So it was at least 250, I think. That's an expensive pillow because I my husband always says, "Well, you can sell them." No, I can't. Nobody's gonna buy it. Nobody's gonna pay me that kind of money because it had to have been at least 150. I got to back up now and get all my prices together. It was a couple of $100, I believe, because I remember telling him that the pillow would have to sell for $300. I remember saying that nobody's gonna pay $300 for a pillowcase. They ain't gonna do that. I wouldn't, even though it has lights in it and all that kind of stuff. But when you look at the time and energy and everything that you spent putting it together, and it had all these appliques and patches and all that kind of stuff, remind me of doing a Christmas tree skirt. It had all these little pieces and stuff that you had to put together to get this pillow made out. Um, that was time consuming. Yes, Robin, Kimberbell is pricey. It is pricey. Beautiful, but pricey. Not telling you not to do it because they got nice stuff. But it doesn't hurt to check them out and see what they have to offer. And they do have some things. You may not be able to get the pill and stuff like that, but they got squares and they got different things. I bought their one of their mug rug um, design disc, and it has several different mug rugs on there that is nice that you can stitch out. They have things that you can buy, and occasionally you can catch them on sale. And the grand sales, Kimberbell stuff, and sometimes they have it on sale because I think that's where I bought my fabric and my embellishment kit. Um, Brother Sewing Blog. Now, I didn't know Brother had a tutorial um, blog, and I went on it and looked at it. I personally was not impressed. And the reason I wasn't impressed, everything was basic. And I'm past the basics, so it wasn't something that was helpful for me, but it would be helpful for someone that is just starting out and just getting a brother machine. And I was looking at just looking around on their site, and kind of disappointed because I have an SE 1900 and they didn't have anything as far as accessory and stuff for the SE 1900. I was like, wait a minute. They had it for the PE 800, but not the SE 1900, which I'm thinking that whatever the PE 800 has will work on my SE 1900, but they didn't even say that. They said check with your dealer. And I was like, wait a minute, I shouldn't have to do that. So, but anyway, Brother has a sewing blog and featuring embroidery tutorial and projects for their popular sewing brand. Nancy Zeman, Machine Embroidery, a well-known blog in the sewing and embroidery community. Now, I don't even know if this is still valid because she's no longer alive. And I know I tried to go on something that was Nancy, and it was dead in the water. Couldn't get on. So I'm not sure that that particular blog is still available. So Daily Embroidery, a roundup of website, social media accounts, and YouTube channels of brilliant and accomplished needlework artists. Now, I'm thinking this is more on the hand. Now, the last three that they listed are hand embroidery. So I'm not even going to mention them because I don't do hand embroidery. I don't know how many people do that are in this chat, but I don't do hand embroidery, so I'm not going to bring that up. Now, before I get to that list of 45 best machine embroidery blogs, I want to mention something before I forget it. Well, two things before I forget it. One, as I was going through looking at stuff online and checking out some of these sites and stuff, it just popped up, Hoop Master, and you guys may already be aware of this. I may be behind the times, but Hoop Master has a home edition, hooping station. How many people knew that? A Hoop Master home edition home hooping station that is only for your flatbed machine. Were you guys aware of that? I was not. I think I heard it and didn't pay that much attention to it a while back. But I never did really get into it. And Val, you say you used to do a lot of hand embroidery until you found an embroidery machine. And Taisha, you say you do hand embroidery, but only a small project. And I guess Robin, you say you do hand embroidery as well. So since there are some people that do it, let me mention these last three places in case you're interested in it. The one that I mentioned was So Daily. They are give you information on hand embroidery. The other one is listed because I looked these up. That's why I know they're hand embroidery. Needle and Thread by Mary Corbett. The goal of Needle and Thread is to help keep the art of hand embroidery alive. And Pumora, Pumora by Ann Mead. And Ann is eager to make each article and tutorial on her website as clear and simple as possible. Now, those three are dedicated to hand embroidery. So, if you're interested. And Taisha, you say you have John Deere's hooping station that is flatbed embroidery machine. Now I know John Deere has that hooping station with the magnets and stuff. I'm aware of that. I forget what he calls it, but and then Robin said you knew that Jeanette had talked about it. Okay, so because I know, and she did a video once. I was not aware of it, and I may have briefly heard Jeanette say something about it, and it just kind of bypassed me. But I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware that it is a Hoopmaster Home Edition um, hooping station for flatbed. It does not support any mighty hoops, and there is a video that shows you how to use this hooping station. And I have to tell you, I'm impressed because had that thing been out before I got my um, 10 needle machine and was able to use mighty hoops, may or may not have moved as quickly as I did to the 10 needle machine because it looks like it helps. It's going to be very helpful for people that have a difficult time hooping um, the regular hoops. Now, I'm not going to say that I'm going to get one. I may or may not get one. I don't know what they cost. I didn't go on to the Mighty Hoop site to look up the price because I know it's not something I'm going to do anytime in the near future. But the mere fact that they have one available, in case some of you were not aware of it, they do have a Hoopmaster Home Edition hooping station that is dedicated to flatbed machines, and it uses your regular hoops that you already own for your flatbed machine. You don't have to, it don't need magnets and all that stuff. Everything that you need comes with that hooping station. And the video just shows you exactly how to use it, and it's very much on the same order as the Mighty hooping station because they have the pegs and the numbers where you can place everything on there, where you can get the exact placement. So if you're doing multiple uh, logos or whatever of the same thing over and over again, and you have it assigned to this number, you just put it on, hoop it, take it off, put it on, hoop it, take it off, and go for with like that. So just want to bring that up. And Josh, you say you have this is the John Deere one, the Achenda hooping station from John Deere, and he is now might have hoop rep, really. Hmm. John Deere is a mighty hoop rep. I'm confused. I thought that hooping station was here. So how does that work? How does that work? I didn't know. And Pearl, you said you didn't know. So at least one person here didn't know. Because I was not um didn't know what I know now. Put it that way. I had heard a little birdie in the trees briefly mention it, and I didn't pay it any attention. But today I actually saw the video and everything with the demo and how to use it and the purpose and this, that, and the other. And I wanted to be sure to share that with my audience. So just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of that. And so before I move on to the 45 best machine embroidery blog list, I just wanted to go back to YouTube. Now, what I have found with YouTube, they have any and everything out there. However, sometimes it may be difficult to find. I don't know if you guys have experienced that for yourself. Because I know people have a hard time finding me. Seems like. But you have to know how to ask the question. If you are looking for something specific that you're interested in finding, you have to know how to ask the question. And you may have to ask the question in many different ways before you find it. Because I have to tell you, I have gone on YouTube and have typed in how to do XYZ, how to do this, how to do that, whatever, whatever. And it'll populate stuff. Then it'll populate stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with what I asked. And because it's a computer. And then I'll change the verbiage and I may or may not get lucky and find it. Perfect example this week. Marina had texted me and told me that this lady, um, Ren, Reeen, forgot her last name, something with a W, I think, was having a live and she was going to be talking about the cut and stitch. So I said, okay, fine. So I typed in her name and and she came up, but it had nothing to do, it wasn't even live. It had nothing to do with what the subject was that she had presented to me. So I typed it in again and I put live. Uh, Still didn't have anything to do with what we were talking about. I typed it in again and I put cut and stitch. It still didn't come up with what it came up with her, but it never would give me what I was looking for. So I basically asked Marina to send me the link, and that's how I found it. I probably would have been messing around with that thing for 3 days trying to find it based upon how I was looking for it. It's there, it's available, but if you don't know how to ask the question, you may not ever find what it is that you're looking for. So, with that being said, don't give up. Don't think there's no answer for whatever it is that you're looking for because I have to tell you, I have been persistent a lot when it's something that I really need to know or I'm looking for or I got to figure this out situation. And I keep rewording it in various ways, asking the question to hopefully be able to find what it is that I'm looking for. And it can be difficult. It can be difficult. And Taisha, you said you don't have time. What is it? What she said? I don't. She said, "Oh, you don't have a hard time finding anything on YouTube. It's sucking up all of my time watching various videos." And you also say, I found YouTube videos regarding embroidery from Gloria Horn, and they teach everything IQ designer, quilting, sewing, bag making, embroidery tips and trips, you name it, and they demonstrated it. So, see, you've been lucky enough to find a one stop shop type place, which is great. I have found several one stop shop places. However, with me being a content creator, oftentimes I'm looking for something specific, not just in general good information and projects and stuff like that that you can do. I'm looking for a specific thing that I'm needing to see how to do because this is what I want to do and I want to see how other people are doing it or what suggestions they have or so forth and so on. So that's what has um, eluded me sometimes and has caused sometimes frustration because like I said, if I'm looking for something specific, how to stitch on a espadrille shoe, that's very specific, and I might want something even more specific about how to put it together, then stitch on it, then put it together, or so forth and so on. Whatever that specific thing that I'm looking for, not something that's general. And if you're not a content creator, you may not be looking for anything that's that specific. But for me being a content creator, I'm oftentimes looking for something that is just that specific that you're in general. If you're looking for something that's pertaining to maintenance for your machine, and I remember looking when they were. I saw this video where they used the hack for the hat to get it closer, and they used the Gen X, that little Gen X tool, and this guy said that he had used the tool and he could get the hat and all that stuff. Then I got a message from Bill, and Bill hasn't been on here in a minute, but Bill sent me a message saying that he seen a guy that did it with a paper clamp, one of the black things that he did. And so that's specific. Where is this? Where is this guy? Because he didn't have the name, he didn't have none of that, that did this particular hat with this particular item. So finding that is very specific. And it's there, it's out there, obviously. But how do you deep dive to get to that? And that's where I'm coming from. Sometimes you have to keep searching and rewording and doing things like that. And like I said, the only reason I brought that up is that if you're looking for something specific and you don't find it on your first try, don't give up. Just keep um, rewording your question, your query, and hopefully you will find whatever it is that you're looking for. So that was the point to all of that. And George, you said John Deere started with Mighty Hoops after Christmas. Okay, so it was this month in January, obviously. I haven't looked at John Deere stuff in a minute, so I didn't know that. And Taisha, you said Sandra shows you how to embroider on espadrille shoes. Yeah. So that was just an example. I really hadn't been looking at that. Even though I know a place that has beautiful designs to put on those shoes. And I thought about doing that, but since I don't know how to stitch on espadrille shoes yet, I have not gotten those designs. But that just, popped in my head. Not that I really need that information specifically right now, but Sandra Shaw. And then you said Gloria Horn and Sandra Shaw. And see, Taisha, you say you don't watch TV, you just do YouTube. So you on YouTube all day long. So you get a chance to go through all these wonderful sites and find people that do all of this information. So it's good to know. So I'm putting all this down here. So I will check these people out. It's always good to know. That's the whole purpose of doing it, is to share information so people will know where to go and find. Now, the digitizing blog is one that I did look at, and I was impressed with that particular site because they had a lot of different um, tutorials and articles and blogs, short little videos, and it really good for people brand new and with different topics. It did lean very much towards the digitizing information, which makes sense since it's a digitizing site, but I thought it was useful. Now, they mentioned All Stitch, which I had mentioned about tutorials with All Stitch, and it says that they provide embroidery tips, products review, and project ideas. And of course, All Stitch is the one that's in Baltimore, Maryland, and All Brand is somewhere else, but they're out there. I mentioned Kimberbella, and I mentioned Sew Daily, but that's for your hand embroidery. Machine Embroidery Geek. Now, I signed up with them, and mainly because you said all brands in Texas. I signed up with Embroidery Geek, and I have to be honest about it, mainly because it's located in St. Louis, and that's my birthplace. So I just was kind of wanting to support that. But it is a collection of modern and unique machine embroidery applique and in the hoop designs and machine embroidery how to's and projects. So it's something, that's the site you might be interested in. Machine Embroidery Geek. And I've gone on their site and seen several articles that answer a lot of different questions. Um, and they offer e-classes regarding digitizing embroidery and etc. No, that's not true. That's Embroidery Legacy. I'm sorry. Embroidery Legacy, which is John Deere. We all know that. And they are the ones that offer e-classes regarding digitizing and embroidery. And they have a lot of classes. And the one thing that I do know, if you buy the Wilcom hatch, they, we have in brilliance and we have to depend upon people like Lisa Shaw and other content creators to kind of walk us through certain things about brilliance. If you don't want to read the manual and figure it out for yourself, because nobody does that. The Wilcom hatch, especially going through John Deere, they have, and I haven't done it because I've just not dedicated to it. I've started it several times and never complete. They have their class. They have you if you go through their courses, and they have multiple courses and different levels for each one of their modules. If you go through those courses for those modules, you will learn how to use that software. You don't have to wait on a Lisa Shaw or somebody to put a video up to show you how to do this, that, and the other. They provide that information, which I thought was pretty cool because the software is not cheap, but they provide you with the tutorial and all that you need to be able to use the software if that's something that you choose to do. And I keep saying that I'm going to do that, and I have to do that because I spent that money. And it is really a good software. I mean, it does everything. It's a digitized, it's all everything. Now, is it as intuitive as Embrilliance? Not to me because I'm so ingrained with Embrilliance. But I really truly believe, based upon the little bit of classes I have taken, if I put my mind to it and actually participate in those courses or go through those courses, I think I will feel as comfortable using it as I feel using Embrilliance. I really do, because I don't think it's that difficult. But that's just my little 2 cents on that. Sewing machine buffs. Embroidery. That's a blog featuring machine embroidery tutorials and projects, and they are from the UK, and they go over step by step instructions on how to do certain projects. Design in machine embroidery, which is dime. Design in machine embroidery. We all know what they do. They have tons of tutorials and what have you, and whatnot. But just full disclosure and honesty, their tutorials, not all of them. Well, I'll take that back. They're selling their product. That's just full disclosure and honesty. They do a lot of beautiful projects and stuff that you can learn how to do, but they are selling their product. When you go in and look at whatever it is that they do, they are talking about their product, their software, their thread, their stabilizer, whatever it is that they sell. That's what they promote on their site. And they try to um, encourage you to purchase their stuff. And I have purchased their stuff. And I have not found their software to be user friendly. It's not impossible to learn, but it's not that user friendly, intuitive, where you could just pick up on it like that. At least not for me. It takes a while to figure it all out and keep it straight in your head, especially when you're used to doing it a different way, which I'm used to doing it a different way because I use in brilliance. That's what I'm used to. This is not in brilliance. This is cut and stitch. This is word stitches, word art and stitches, or whatever that thing is, and tool shed and all that kind of stuff. And so it's different, but um, you can do it. But just keep in mind their tutorials and blogs and stuff, which I have found have been really promoting their stuff. That's how I've seen it. Okay, affordable digitizing is another one, and again they talk about digitizing. Um, Mr. X Stitch, I went on his site. I really didn't see a lot to do with that. Number 17, Royal Presents Embroidery. Now, I buy software from them and I've seen their blog, and they do provide some really good information in their blog about how to start an embroidery business and a lot of stuff pertaining to embroidery business. Also, stuff pertaining to projects and what have you. What I have noticed, you can't print anything. The last time I tried, you couldn't print because I don't like sitting there reading it and you know if it's something that to be read, I don't want to just sit on the computer and read it because with my eyesight and stuff like that, reading stuff on the computer is not comfortable. And I like to print stuff off and be able to go through it and mark it up and so forth and so on. I'm old school, and you can't, but the information is good on Royal Present. And not only that, they have absolutely beautiful designs. If you've never been on their site, Royal Present or Royal Present, however you want to pronounce it, but it's Royal and it's Present. I call it Royal Present Embroidery. I have bought several designs from them. Their stuff is gorgeous. And some stuff is kind of like $9 and stuff, but usually running anywhere from 3 to 5. Um, and they have all kinds of stuff, all kinds. And they have design. Those are the ones that I've seen the design for the Estradille shoes that I have not bought because I don't know how to do that. Oma's Place blog, they have a lot of stuff on theirs. Sweet Pea is another St. Louis, Missouri based company, and but it says it's Australian based as well. So I guess that they have a location in both places, I'm assuming, because it says it's a St. Louis, Missouri, US, a blog featuring machine embroidery design, tutorial, and project ideas from the Australian based company, Sweet Pea Embroidery. So I guess the blogging is being done in a different place. I'm not sure how that works, but I could not use the link that was on this list because it blocked me because they want to sell this information and I wasn't buying it. Anyway, um, Anita Good Design, as we all are aware of Anita Good Design and all of her stuff, and you can buy a lot of her designs usually out of some of these sewing back stores. The one that I go to have tons of her stuff. Um, let me see. Carly Bell. I'm familiar with Carly Bell. She's from New Orleans, Louisiana. I've watched her. I have her in my subscribers, so I watch her. Um, Anybody that has the Buy or Bay embroidery machine, BAI, they have their own embroidery machine blog, and it's from China, so that's a Chinese machine, and they have a blog. I did not look their blog up, so I do not know um, if it is in English. I would assume it is. They have quite a few of these digitizing sites on here. Candle Thread has a site that has projects and tutorial. And of course, I'm sure most of us are aware that Racoma has a blog, has a site. They also have a Facebook group. They show you how to use their machine, how to do different types of projects with their machine, and also on give you background on starting a business and so forth and so on with their products and what have you. Um, Creative Kiwi. I've used Creative Kiwi. They are from Canterbury, New Zealand. Thus the accent. If you've ever watched any of her tutorials or anything, I have bought some of her designs. I've done some of her um, tutorial. Watched some of her tutorials. Stitch Delight is from South Africa, and they have a blog, and they have some really cute designs as well. If you've not uh, been on their site to see some of their stuff, they have specials every once in a while where you can buy an entire group of alphabet fonts, and they really have the cute alphabet fonts. And every once in a while, they'll sell the whole 26 fonts for $2. Other than that, then they sell them individually priced, and they can be $4 or $5 each. But I only buy the ones that you can get the whole alphabet for $2. But I have bought stuff from them as well. Um, Lindy G's. I think I've heard people. I've not used them, but from Tucson, Arizona, and they have Lindy Goodall is the digitizer and embroidery designer. Machine embroidery designs. And that's pretty much the list. I skipped over some of the things that are kind of um, big on digitizing and stuff like that because I don't digitize. I don't think many of you digitize as well. So, hi Carol, how you doing? Thanks for stopping in. Uh, let me see. Taisha, you say you took a couple of classes from Sandra Shaw. And Carol said Eric Campbell is great for digitizing information. He is associated with ingredients. Okay, that's good to know. And Pearl, you're saying something is a turn off to you. Not sure what that is. And you love Robin. You love their thread. So I don't know if that's Candle's thread or I don't know whose thread it is. Anyway, and Leslie, Anita, good design are two guys, I believe, and they said I need a good design. Hence, Anita. Are you kidding me? That is too cute. Really? I'm thinking Anita Good Design is a person. Is a female person named Anita. Good. Anita Good Design are two guys you believe they said I need a good design. That is cute. That is too funny. That's almost like the design which I have of around to it. When everybody say when I get around to it, I'll do XYZ, where you can actually give them a round to it so they can go ahead and do it. Because there is a design that you can buy of a round to it. And I have that design. I intend to stitch some of them out and pass them out. So people can't say when I get around to it, I'm gonna do XYZ because honey baby, here is your round to it right here. But that is pretty good, Leslie. Thanks for sharing that because I was not I was not aware of that. That is funny. That is funny. I need a good design. Yeah, that's clever. Very, very clever. So we learn something every time we have a live. We learn something, whether it's trivial or whether it is important. With tonight's information, I hope that you have heard about some different places that you might want to check out. Now, there are tons of places that I did not mention because I'm not even sure if I mentioned Embroidery Library and Urban Thread, which does have their Facebook group. They have their what Embroidery Library has their, I believe it's a weekly challenge that they do. I have not participated in the challenge, but they'll select one of their designs and then they'll have a challenge and people will stitch out that particular design that is challenged and I guess they she puts something in the hat or whatever and whoever wins gets a $25 gift certificate for their site to buy more designs. So if you're not aware of that, you might want to join the Embroidery Library Facebook challenge because you could possibly win some free designs. So they have their blog. Um, they have tutorials on their site. Designed by Juju also has tutorials on her site. Now, the one thing to keep in mind now, she's not exclusive to Design by Juju, but Becky Thompson does a lot of the embroidery stitch out using Design by Juju Designs. So if you purchase something from Design by Juju, it's pretty close that it you'll be able to go on to Power Tools thread and see a video where they're blacked out. Maybe y'all saw it, didn't see it. I don't know, but I did. It blacked out. But anyway, what I was saying is that Becky Thompson does a lot of tutorials using Design by Juju's designs. Mentioning that for those of us that are doing the table runner stitch out, and I think the majority of us, or maybe all of us, I'm not sure, bought our table runner design from Design by Juju. If you paid attention to that front page on her site where the design is that you purchase, you will see that she has a link video to Becky Thompson doing a table runner. I think it's a fall table runner where she is putting it together, and you can watch that to get an idea as to how to move forward. If Danielle is still on here, maybe that is something that you want to look at because I'm going to look at it. Danielle's Souls More. If you want to check that out, or any of us, because I'm going to look at it. I just wanted to bring that up to let you know that she is doing a table runner. Now, we watched her, I think most of us watched her when she did the Christmas tree skirt just to get an idea as to how to go about putting it together and everything so we wouldn't completely mess it up. And so I'm going to look at her video just to see, just to get an idea. It's not complicated. The instructions are very straightforward. So I don't think it's something that I have to see, but I do plan on looking at it just for the heck of it because um, it's there and available. But um, Design by Juju does have a few tutorials and things that you might want to check out. Who else do I look at that do? I think Design by Little B does too. Some of her stuff, I think. She does. And the other thing about Design by Juju now, I don't know if she's still, and I'm pretty sure it's still available somewhere. She has done some tutorials herself because I remember I remember when I first started, I watched her do one of those hooded tiles that she with the peeper that she has the design for the peeper and she makes the hooded tile. I watched her do that and she had a tutorial. So I'm sure she has other tutorials doing her designs as well. I've not ventured out and looked at any more of them any in lately, but I do remember watching that particular video because I didn't do it, but I had planned to do one, and now that I have a little one to make things for, I plan to do one as well. And Joy, she says she has a Valentine table runner video tutorial that she's doing in this Sweet Pea. I think she got the design because I looked at that today. She got that design from Sweet Pea. It's not a design by Juju table runner. It's a Sweet Pea design. But yes, she is doing a Valentine table runner video. I saw that today. And Joyce, you say you love designs from Embroidery Library and Urban Thread. Embroidery Library is almost my go-to. It's almost my go-to. So, and Leslie, I watched Becky Thompson this morning, the fall table runner. She has the nativity one in 3 parts. Yeah. And I know you had the nativity one and you say you watched the fall one. So I'm going to watch that. Maybe when I get off from here or maybe in the morning sometime. I don't know. But I'm going to watch it as well. And Leslie, you said you follow the hooded tile and have been making them for family and friends. Yeah. They're not hard to make. And I did see it done by designed by Juju. And I don't know if she probably doesn't do a lot of tutorials anymore since she's her business has just taken off and she's so busy doing all of her designs and stuff. She probably just let Becky do. Becky, you do it. You can do it, Becky. Because Becky, like I said, she does a lot of the design by Juju designs that she had. The table runners and the Christmas trees and the placemats and the mug rugs and the composition covers and just a bunch of stuff that she does. So she does a whole lot for design by Juju. If you're looking for anything like that. Um, and okay, Joyce, good night. Oh, you have to go to work. I understand. Thanks for stopping in. Appreciate it. And Jenny, you said I'm finishing up with the double the love table runner by watching Becky. Okay. And I'm assuming that's the Valentine one. I think that's the name of it, double the love. Yeah. So that's cool. That's cool. So as I was saying earlier before we started the chat about the social media. Okay, Jenny, you say yes, it is. That's what I thought it was, and that's a beautiful table run. I was looking at that, and I thought about, but I ain't gonna do it before hmm, before Valentine's. So there ain't no need of me even thinking about it, going that route, because I'm not going to. It won't get made before Valentine's, so I'm not going there. And I have no Valentine fabric, so that's not gonna happen. And Leslie, you said I like design by Juju hooded towel because she uses a whole hand towel for the hood, so the embroidery won't scratch the kid's head. Yeah, yeah. If I remember correctly, she covered that up. But I haven't seen that in a couple of years now. Because, like I said, I think I watched that when I first started embroidering, and that was probably before her business jumped off like it is now. Because she was the one doing it, if I'm not mistaken, the tutorial itself. And I don't know if she does them anymore. She might. I don't know though. I don't think she does. It's amazing how I have seen such a transformation from when I first started when I was in Florida, watching certain content creators where they were when I started watching them and where they are now with their business. It's just a testimonial to how you can grow. Even with Angela Jasmina, when I started watching her, she was still doing those tutus, and she didn't even have a multi needle machine when I first started watching her. And look at her. When I first started watching A Dub was using his PE 700 or whatever that was he was using, and that was it. He didn't have. Look at him now. He has a whole warehouse of multi needle machine. I mean, people have just rocketed. Um, Katrina, she just shot up. It's amazing how some people they have that Midas touch, I guess, and they just hit that right button, and their business just goes. And I've not been that lucky, but I've not been that consistent. And I know that has a lot to do with it because when I was all sick and I didn't do anything for almost a year and so forth and so on, and it puts you back and you got to be consistent, you got to be consistent, you got to be consistent and dedicated and work hard and all of that stuff to get it going. But it does work, and it can work because, like I said, I have seen with my own eyes. I don't have to have nobody tell me how people have gone from here to up here in this little short length of time that I've been doing it, and it just astonishes me with that because I'm pretty sure that is what has happened with and I don't even know her name, but designed by Juju, because she was doing tutorials, and now I don't think she does them because I think she's too busy with her digitizing that she does and putting out her designs because her designs um, they sell, and she has a strategy. She has her how she gives away a lot of stuff. You know, she has a sale every week. Every week she has a sale, and she pulls you in by giving you all this free stuff. You buy this, you buy that, because like right now she's got the sets, um, and they pretty much equal to $1 a set, which we've already done before the holidays. I'm not buying any more sets because I don't need any more sets right now. I haven't used the sets that I bought, so I'm not buying any more sets. I'm not spending $25 to get a whole bunch of stuff that I'm not going to use either. So I won't be jumping on that bandwagon anytime soon. Maybe later on in the year, but not right now. And um, Embroidery Library has their sale going on, and I don't think they have anything that I'm interested in either since the holidays. Because you know, the holidays, you go crazy and you get all of this stuff. And then when the holiday is over with, you realize you got all this stuff and you haven't used it. Now, they have this one thing on here, the Lunar New Year design, and I'm positive they're just selling the design of the fireworks, but they have this fringe around it. This is embroidered by Library. It's a flag, a pennant. And I was like, this is cute. And I love that fringe. So I'm wondering, they just probably added the fringe on there. I'm pretty sure it has nothing to do with embroidery. They just added it on there. But they have that 50% on that. Then they have the 50% off on the funnies with the cows and the chickens and all of that stuff. I don't need any of that. And then they have what else they have? I think this clothesline with the cows and the pig is really cute, but I'm not gonna get it. It's 3 days only. Takes 65% off of regular price single designs. Okay, I didn't even read it. So this is a good opportunity to go into your wish list. It's a 3 days only. It ends tomorrow night at 11:59 Central Time. Um, what is it? Take 65% off regular price single design with the code JOY. So if you got anything in your wish list that you are wanting to buy, now I already spent my money. See, I should have waited. I could have got that doggone rabbit design for 65% off. I didn't get it on sale. I didn't. I could have gotten it on sale if I had just waited 2 more days, but I didn't. But anyway, no big deal. No big deal. I still got a bunch of other stuff up in there. And Leslie, you brought up what? Leslie, she does shorts are her best-selling items. Her son used to film her tutorial. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that, but I haven't. Yeah, I have seen some shorts. And Jennifer Maker has over 1 million followers. She's another one that has blown up, and now that she moved into sublimation because she was 100% cricket. Now she's into sublimation as well, and she sells books and all kinds of stuff. So she definitely has blown up as well. Um, I don't I don't watch her. I have watched her, but I don't follow her because I'm not doing any uh, I'm not doing a lot of cricket and that kind of stuff right now. So I'm trying to concentrate on, like I said, embroidery stuff. I will do some cricket stuff if I need to, but my head can only handle so much. I am interested in 3D embroidery, and I'm still trying to find information on that. I really, and not, I don't want to do hand embroidery. And I don't know for sure that what I saw was hand embroidery, but I saw this. I loved it. I fell in love with it. And I said, I want that. I want to be able to do that. So I want to find out information about that. Um, I have an idea of what to do and how to do it, but I would just like to see someone else do it and just see if my idea makes sense, if that makes sense at all. But that's my interest right now. I want to learn different types of techniques with embroidery to make your embroidery stand out, not just the plain what we do everyday type embroidery, because it is so many different types of embroidery and avenues of embroideries and things that you can embroider on, and just to make everything unique and different and stand out. And if you're looking for, and not so much to sell, because it just depends upon how easy it is or how quick you can do it. So it may not be something that you can sell, but it's just information. It makes wonderful gifts, and which could also lead to a sale. It just won't be mass production, I guess would be the best way of putting it. And you don't want something that is unique to be mass production anyway. You just have to price it right to make a profit off of it. But if it's something different and unique, you will be able to sell it. You definitely will be able to sell it. People would buy it. Like our table runners, people would buy the table runners. People would buy the Christmas tree skirts if you chose to sell them, if it's priced right, because it's different and unique. It's better than what you can buy at the store, and you can personalize it. Like that, um, what what Jenny was saying about the double love table runner that she's working on. I did see a little bit of it, and I noticed Becky brought out the point that the ends are blank, which gives you the opportunity to customize the ends how you want it. Like on her one that she did, she has the Thompsons on the bottom, and she has I think she said established in 2001 on the top, and she's using it for I'm assuming, I don't know if she's going to use it as a table runner or wall hanging or whatever, but she customized the ends, and something like that you can do and definitely uh, sell, especially if you're able to put it together in a timely manner where it doesn't take a lot of time, where you can, kind of not necessarily mass produce it, but definitely put it up for sale where people can say, okay, yeah, I want this, and you can sell 10, 15 of them or whatever over the holiday period if you get started early enough. So those would be good ideas of things to sell, or a gift. You know, we're always thinking about gifts for Christmas, but people have anniversaries, Valentine, birthdays, weddings, all kinds of um, different occasions where gifts are passed on. And just because gifts, how many of us, I know I do that often, just because gifts. If I see something I like and decide to make it, I just send it to whoever, my friend, my relatives, whatever, as a just because gift. I thought about you, and I thought about you when I made this, and I want you to have it. And I just send it to them. 'Cause, I enjoy making it, and I don't necessarily need to keep it if I'm not going to use it. So I decided to gift it to somebody that might appreciate it and want to use. So gives you an idea of what to do because that's what I thought about when I looked at that that double the love table runner for a fleeting moment because it's so cute. For a fleeting moment, I thought about it, and then I said, because I even looked up looked it up, the price, $7.50 and everything, and I was like, nah, I'm not gonna get a chance to make this for Valentine's, so there's no need of me even getting involved in this. It's cute, but I'm working on what I'm working on, and I'm not gonna have time to do both and all the other stuff that I have to do because I got to get some videos up. I got to get some videos up on my channel. So I have don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe and get the notification bell and all of that and come to the weekly live. I got my ticker tape running. So please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, everybody. Appreciate it. That does help the channel a whole lot. As you know, as I've always said, I do appreciate that. So um, it's always wonderful to find out when I look at the analyticals and stuff, how many people actually have uh, viewed the video live, and how many thumbs up I've gotten. So I do appreciate all the support I get. Trust and believe me, it is something that I don't take for granted because I know you can spend your time elsewhere. I know that those of you that watch me later on can be spending your time doing something else, and you've chosen to spend your time with me. And I appreciate it. Like Marina mentioned earlier about the community, she and I have talked about that, and I feel very much in agreement with that statement. I see you guys, especially the core people of you that come every week as my friends and community. I truly enjoy you guys. I appreciate you guys. Several of you guys I've actually met. And then those that I have not physically met, I've met you via Zoom. And all of those things are very important to me. I do appreciate that because we're developing this relationship and this camaraderie and friendship, and I want this to continue and I want it to grow. And hopefully, you guys feel the same way because it's fun to me. It really is fun to me. And I don't have friends here in Maryland. I'm used to having friends and going places and doing and outgoing and all that kind of stuff. And I really haven't had that type of uh, thing in my life, I guess, really since I left St. Louis in 2012, to be honest about it, because even when I was in Virginia, I was in Virginia for 6 years, and I met a few people, and I went out and did a few things and had some gatherings and stuff, but it was nowhere near like what I had in St. Louis with my core friends, and we're still friends to this day. And Kansas City, and all of that. And when I left Virginia and went to Florida, it's similar to the way it is here in Maryland. I didn't have any friends. I didn't meet anybody. Even though I was working, I did not make friends. The people that I worked with weren't friendly people. What can I say? It was a new deal for me because I wasn't used to that type of relationship. I wasn't used to not making friends with people that I worked with and did, it didn't have to be my buddy, but at least be friendly and chit chat with each other and maybe go out and have a drink or two every once in a while, meet up or whatever. Did none of that. I was like, okay, whatever. That's how it is. And so Danielle, you said hugs to me. Thank you. I appreciate all the hugs I can get. And Jenny, you said, I enjoy watching and listening to you. You have lots of great information. Well, thank you, Jenny. I do appreciate that. I do try to provide useful information. That is my goal, is to provide something that is of use to somebody. And I do know that there are people that watch that are new. There are so many people that are getting into embroidery and it's new to them. They're getting these big machines and don't know what the heck to do with them. Or they're not, they're getting a flat, they get a SC 1900 or 2000 now and they don't have a clue what to do with it. And, something that I look at as being simple is something that they're having a hissy fit over. I saw a girl ask on one of the Facebook some thread. The way I read what she was asking, and I might have been wrong. It was like how sometimes you can get, like, if you get a bird's nest and you get thread caught up in your bobbin area, and you can't get that doggone piece of thread out, and she's tugging and she can't get the thread out, and she can't get the tweezer up in there, and she don't know what to do, and she's about to lose her mind and she can't get it out, and somebody told her to turn the knob in the back, which is a no-no. That no, don't mess with that knob in the back. But they told her it's not like the knob on your machine, on your single needle machine. You can get that out. What I do, and maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but you know how when you get ready to put that drop of oil on the bobbin and the bobbin turns, that's what I hit. Like I'm gonna put oil in and the bobbin turn, and you can get that thread out. And you might have to do it 2 or 3 times maybe, but it turns, it moves, and you can get the thread out. That's what I do when my thread gets caught up in there. I don't know what everybody else do, but I know what I don't do. I don't mess with that knob in the back, because that has to do with your timing and all of that. And I'm not messing with that unless I am told to do so for some particular reason. And I have yet to touch it. So I don't mess with it. But I just thought, like I was saying earlier, sometimes you can't listen to all the information that people give you because it may not be 100% correct. But for me, a simple solution for getting that stuck thread out is just hit that bobbin oil, drop of oil, and if you paid attention, your bobbin does turn. It's gonna turn. Cause I just did that the other day. I had a bird nest and my thread got caught up and I had all this thread in there and I'm picking and pulling and picking and pulling. Got the back and I still saw this thread and I'm pulling, I can't get it out. And so I had to turn that bobbin a couple of times and it finally loosened up and came on out. No big deal. So sometimes it's trial and error, but people, just be careful what you listen to and think about it. But I do know there are people out here, and hopefully some of you guys are watching and you listen and you learn some of the tricks that I've been able to pick up over these few years that I've been doing this. And the other thing that I do, I read. I do. I read a lot. I bought books, and I was gonna bring that up, and I'll probably show you some books the next time, um, next week. I don't know what my topic is, but I do have some books because it was something that I was reading that mentioned the books, and I was looking at books yesterday, to see what was new. But I bought at least 2 or 3 embroidery books prior to even doing any embroidery at all, because in the process of waiting on my machine, I was preparing myself to use my machine and to do embroidery because I didn't know nothing about it. I had no clue. I didn't know anything about embroidery. And so I got these books and started reading about needles and stabilizers and hoopings and all of the stuff that you need to know in order to embroider. And I looked at videos and stuff. So when I got my machine, I knew how to start the machine, I knew how to hoop, and I knew how to go ahead and do a design. Now, did I make a every one of my designs right? I had some mess ups, of course, because you got to learn. But at least I knew the basics. I knew how to turn the thing on and get started. And I know people, they let it stay in the box because they don't know what to do. They're intimidated by it, which I did with my very first machine. My very first machine that I got way over 15 years ago that I never used. I ended up getting rid of it. Never used it because I didn't know what to do. I had no clue and I was intimidated. And I tried to find someone to teach me. And back then, you couldn't get, at least I wasn't aware of YouTube information and stuff. And from what I've been told, they didn't have any available. And I went to a embroidery store that sold the Singer machine that I had. And they would not even entertain me because I didn't buy it from them. And I could not get any help at all, period. So what do you do? I didn't I didn't do anything with the machine. But I wasn't going to let that happen to me a second time. That's why I was going to be prepared this time when I decided to get a machine. And that's exactly what I did. I prepared myself to use my machine. And when I decided to get the 10 needle machine, I did the exact same thing. By the time my 10 needle machine arrived, I knew how to set it up. I knew how to thread it. I knew how to hoop it. I knew how to, I didn't know how to do everything, obviously, but I did know how to thread it, set it up, hoop, turn the puppy on, and start stitching. And that's exactly what I did. And I did a cap. I think I did a cap my very first week of having my machine. I stitched my first cap and didn't mess it up. So it was preparation. And that's what I recommend to anybody out there that's listening that's new. Just look at these videos and stuff. There's a ton of them out there. I have some. Jeanette has some. It's so many people. Eve have old ones. It's a lot of people out there that have good information on what to do and how to do it. Look at these videos, and that's gonna answer a lot of your questions. A lot of your questions on how to do your machine. So with that being said, I am going to go ahead and let you guys go. It's almost 10 o'clock, 9:59. Uh, I will see all of you. Hopefully, everybody will be able to attend tomorrow. I'm hoping. And Les, you said that's how you found me and Jeanette. Yeah, you went looking for some help, and that's what I did. I went looking for some help. That's how I found Lee. I went looking for help. Help me. I need to know how to do this, how to do that. And that's exactly what I did. I wanted to know how to do towels and t-shirts and all that kind of stuff. I stitched some on some the back of a pair of jeans with my single needle machine when I first got it. I was just that brave. I was doing all kinds of stuff with that machine. I was like, I know how to do this. I can figure this out. I'm messing around trying to get this hooped up, some jeans hooped up in the machine and move it around and stuff. But I did it. I still had those jeans too. I did it. I sure did. And did a pretty doggone good job to uh, all considered. I sure did. But I guess I was just brave. I don't brave or didn't know any better. So I'm gonna say good night to you guys. Like I said, hopefully I'll see everybody tomorrow night, and we'll all be ready to get the stitching and stuff. I think most of us have our stuff cut out, or at least enough stuff cut out to start putting stuff together, and we will go from there. So good night, everybody. Good night, Becky. See you, Robin. See you, Leslie. I see you. Danielle and who else is Val? Who else is on here that's gonna be Taisha, Joyce? Uh, I think that's it that's on here. That's in the group. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Take care. Have a great rest of your week.